Honchkrow farming up, gonna fire off the Brave Bird. Greedent, pretty thick, but is it thick enough? Clearly, it is not. Greedent gets vanquished. Back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Virizion. We're only one snarl away from the Brave Bird. Virizion fires off the Sacred Sword. We hit the Brave Bird, and it's going to be back-to-back knockouts for the mighty Shadow Crow. Welcome back to the channel. The leagues are rotating today. Ultra League is no longer here. So you might be thinking, why am I uploading a video in the Ultra League? Well, because I don't think anyone watches my content for try-hard, sweaty teams. What you do come to my channel for is that quality entertainment, and today we have plenty of that. This battle submission from Nakash is absolutely incredible. He's running double Dark Flyers with the mighty Shadow Honchkrow, one of my favourite Pokemon. We did shout no bomb for our head last season, and if you did manage to catch that video, you'll know that Honchkrow does not care about typings. But why have one Dark Flying type when you can have two? And we're not talking about that stupid vulture Mandibuzz. We're talking about Legacy, Oblivion Wing Yveltal. This is going to be a standard ABB team. We're going to use Yveltal as the bait to draw out the opponent's hardest counter for a Dark Flying type, clearing the path for Shadow Honchkrow to go to town. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we lead Swampert into Charizard. What a beautiful lead. Swampert going to be very dominant. The opponent is staying in. The opponent might attempt to catch a charge move, and they do. Nakash says, not today, trainer. The opponent saves switch into Gliscopod, and we get our first look at this Legacy Oblivion Wing Yveltal. Yveltal farms up. The opponent fires off the Liquidation. Nakash continuing to farm up, looking to throw out good time, and the opponent able to reach Liquidation. Number 2, we see Nakash invest that Protect Shield. We're now at 100 energy. In neutral situations, Oblivion Wing would be the way to go, and of course in this matchup it's super effective. Gliscopod gets vanquished, back to its Pokeball, back out comes Charizard. We throw one Snarl and the Oblivion Wing for optimal fast move timing, and Charizard has already committed a Protect Shield. The opponent looking for the full Wing attack farm down. Yveltal might be glassy, but makes Oblivion Wing number 2, forcing the final Protect Shield. Then we're going to go for that wham bam combo play, serving up that Big Mac and the fries. Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. The opponent's final Pokemon is Poliwrath, and unfortunately we don't get to Brave Bird with Honchkrow as the opponent concedes the match. Next up, we've got Swampert into Clefable. Nakash farms up, throws the Hydro Cannon after 7 Mud Shots, which is CMP to the potential Moonblast. Swampert wins the charge move prior event. Hydro Cannon does almost half of Clefable's HP. However, the Moonblast going to land for huge neutral damage again. Nakash farms up, recognising the opponent's likely to go for the Meteor Mash, so he CMP ties to the Meteor Mash again, tricking the opponent into CMP. Hydro Cannon doesn't knock out. However, this is going to set up a very nice resisted Snarl farm down. Clefable does win the 0 shield. However, we can send out Yveltal. The opponent incredibly low. However, as fair, he does resist Dart. We get off 2 Snarls. The opponent now sends out Swampert. Swampert would beat Yveltal in all even shielding scenarios, but with a 2 Snarl head start, we are definitely off to the races. Oblivion Wing lands for huge damage. Swampert gonna fire off the Hydro Cannon. 2 turn into 3 turn, you always want to throw on odd numbers. However, Nakash, recognising Swampert's on a 4 cycle, opts to throw the move as soon as he gets it. As if he would have thrown the 3rd Snarl, Swampert would have outpaced. We force a Protect Shield, and now it's Shadow Honchkrow time. In comes Crow. We're going to have to start shielding absolutely everything, even resisted charge moves. Look like fucking super effective ones. This Crow is so glassy. The opponent switch out into Charizard, and we're going for the Dark Pulse bait. I say bait, but Honchkrow hits like a truck. Holy crap, I've never seen Dark Pulse do so much damage. The opponent farms up. They're likely to throw the Dragon Claw, having a Nakash shields anyway. The opponent commits to the Blast Burn. They don't get there. Back out comes Swampert. We fire off the Dark Pulse. The opponent's going to be forced to shield. They do shield up. Nakash recognising Swampert, now on a 5 cycle, able to reach their BM Brave Bird, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. We're only 2 battles in, and you can already tell why Nakash is already legend, because he's a very talented battler. My god, what a yikes lead. We save switch into Yveltal, and the opponent answers with the stupid Steel Snake. We farm up, looking to bait a potential Focus Blast. This stupid Steel Snake, absolutely petrified of that big boom potential, commit a Protect Shield. The idea of this team is to try and get some shields with either Yveltal and Swampert, and then just nuke the shit out of everything with Crow. Again, we farm up, throw the Dark Pulse on the CMP tie. Nakash playing immense here. Steelix dumps its energy. Yveltal has done its job. The opponent goes for an undercharge, looking to get off one further Dragon Tail. However, we can send out Swampert. Swampert farms up. The opponent looks to commit to an Earthquake, looking to force the energy of Swampert, and Nakash says, thank you fucking very much. Swampert secures the knockout, and it's time for Honchkrow. We're spamming out the switch. What you have in the back, trainer, because Honchkrow is looking to sweep. Virizion again farms up some energy, and the opponent sends out the very bulky Squirrel. Greedent, without a doubt, one of the most ridiculously thick Pokemon in the league, but Honchkrow about to put his bulk to the test. Again, we throw on odd numbers for optimal fast new timing, force the final Protect Shield with the Dark Pulse. We're going to have to tank one move. We tank the Body Slam. Ouch. That hurt. Nakash farms up, maximising his energy, and he's going for the kill shot. Is Greedent thick enough to survive the bird? It is not. Get wrecked, Greedent. Back out comes Virizion, the opponent now at the back-to-back Sacred Swords. However, we sneak the Snarl. The game works as intended. We hit the Brave Bird, win CMP tie, and Virizion's about to get vanquished back to his Pokeball. GG's, and thanks for playing. Let's go Honchkrow, pulling off a beautiful sweep. In the next battle, we see the pesky Spider in the lead. This is definitely where Nakash wants to see it. Swampert gonna strike first with the Hydro Cannon, and of course the opponent shields. All Galv users love to shield. This opponent looking to bait a potential Energy Ball. We see the instant no shield. Does the opponent have it? No, they don't. I think if we would have got Energy Balled there, we probably would have just top left, but Nakash's huge cojones coming in clutch. Swampert throws the next Hydro Cannon. It looks like Nakash looking to play out the one shield. We shield up the next lunge. Nakash again, over farming. You can see Nakash is always thrown in the middle of the Volt Switch animation. He's always maximising his farm. He's thrown just before the next lunge. The opponent opt to go all shields down. Nakash happy to match shields. I've got a sneaky suspicion I can probably call this backline. I actually shoutcast this backline. The strategy is to shield Galvantula and try and RPS the backline. However, if his opponent's got Jellicent and Mandibuzz in the back, they're in for a pretty rough time of it. We see the instant pivot into Yveltal. The opponent is staying in. We fire off the Dark Pulse, which lands for huge damage. Jellicent banks a boatload of energy, and now we see the battle of the Dark Flying types. Mandibuzz, one of the top ranked picks in the league. However, in this situation, they're going to have to throw neutral Aerial Aces, a move I like to call Aerial Ace. It still does a pathetic 1.37 DPE. However, our Legacy Oblivion Wing is a whopping 1.7. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is we hit like a truck and they hit like a wet noodle. This Vulture going to fire off yet another Aerial Ace, and again you can see why I call it Aerial Ace. We withstand the damage, fire off the next Oblivion Wing. Oblivion Wing going to get Mandibuzz incredibly low, and then look at that for a savage catch. We catch the next Aerial Ace onto Honchkrow, and even Honchkrow makes Mandibuzz look pathetic. Back out comes Jellicent. Jellicent fires off the Surf, and that actually did far too much damage. The opponent forced to throw again, fearful that Honchkrow will make a charge move. We can now send out Swampert. We throw one Mud Shot and the Hydro Cannon. The opponent so low. Resisted Hydro Cannon secures the knockout. Back out comes Mandibuzz, and we get the resisted Mud Shot farm down and take that game. In the next battle, we see a dominating lead for Nakash. Swampert into Charizard. The opponent likely to switch at some stage. So if the opponent stays in, what I like to do is pause a turn and look to throw in the middle of the wing attack animation. The opponent actually tried to catch after 5. Nakash holds his energy. The opponent sends out Guzzlord. We YOLO the Earthquake. The opponent shows no respect and get rocked below half health. Nakash now sends out Yveltal. Yveltal wouldn't normally have a good matchup here, but with the Earthquake damage, they're essentially in Oblivion Wing range. We farm up, throw the Oblivion Wing, securing the knockout. No, the opponent actually survives. This is going to get rough. Dragon Claw doesn't quite knock out Charizard, comes back out, looks for the wing attack farm down. Yveltal on a sliver of HP, reaches the Oblivion Wing. However, Oblivion Wing doesn't force a Protect Shield. Back out comes Swampert. As the opponent isn't running a Shadow Charizard, we can easily tank a Blast Burn from this range. The opponent throw the Dragon Claw. They then CMP tie us. They need to Blast Burn to secure the knockout. The opponent goes to the correct play. Full send the Blast Burn. It's now all down to Honchkrow. However, the opponent still has 2 Protect Shields, 2 hide behind. Hello, Trevenant. What the heck is that fast move? That surely can't be Shadow Claw. Why are the Shadow Claws doing so much? Holy crap. Honchkrow, you're supposed to resist Ghost, but evidently you do not. The Shadow Claws are actually far outweighing the fast move pressure of our Snarls, which is pretty ridiculous. The Snarls are super effective, and the Shadow Claws are supposed to be resisted. We need to farm up to back-to-back moves to win this game. The opponent going straight Seed Bomb. Nakash looking to farm up to the back-to-back, however he's unable to get there. As if he would have thrown one further Snarl, the opponent would reach the Seed Bomb. Back out comes Charizard. The opponent banked the Dragon Claw, and unfortunately we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent, very well played. For those of you that like to have a little school lesson, the reason Nakash couldn't throw one further snarl is Trevenant isn't straight 6s to the seed bomb. The first 2 are 6 and the next one is 5. However, we got distracted. To get him back into the commentary, we see Swampert into Pidgeot. We fire off the Hydro Cannon, the opponent shield the first, which means they're likely going to Feather Dance. Nakash agrees. The opponent is indeed a master baiter, and yet another poor defenceless cat has lost its life today. Rest in peace. Despite me having a pretty foul mouth, I do swear a lot. Apologies for anyone under the age of 18 that watches me. However, I am very much an animal lover and I do not like masturbating, as every time you masturbate a cat dies. The opponent actually throws yet another Feather Dance. Nakash looks to reset his debuff, switches out into Yveltal. We force the final Protect Shield with the Oblivion Wing. Nakash this time respects the Brave Bird, and holy crap, yet another Feather Dance. Is this single moved? Surely not in the 2700 elo range. We fire off the next Oblivion Wing. That doesn't secure the knockout. Nakash at this stage says just throw the Brave Bird. The opponent's 4 for 4 on Feather Dances. Wow. The opposing trainer absolutely addicted to the bait. We reset our debuff, sending out Swampert to meet Talonflame, and we draw out Virizion. Can you see it yet, guys? Because this is about to be beautiful. The opponent likely to commit to the full double kick farm down. However, they have just switch locked their Virizion. So even though they're going to leave at close to 100 energy, they're not even going to get to throw a single charge move as Nakash banked the Oblivion Wing on Yveltal. Yveltal wins the CMP tie. Virizion about to get vanquished. Back to its Pokeball. Back out comes Talonflame, aka the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death. Nakash throws 3 snarls, which is 9 turns into 10 turns for optimal fast move time in Oblivion Wing. Gets the bird below half health. We show him Honchkrow and the opponent says no thank you and concede the match. Great lead Swampert into Charizard, but what isn't great is a Greninja safe switch. Greninja essentially beats everything on our team. I've got no idea how we're going to beat it. Nakash stays in. Looks to bait the Earthquake. To be honest, I think Hydro Cannon is the way to go, as 2 Hydro Cannons knock out Greninja as it is ridiculously squishy. The opponent calls the bait, so he could have nuked him with an Earthquake. However, I do think Hydro Cannon is the safe play. Nakash recognising Swampert is incredibly low. The opponent's going to go for the Night Slash and he catches it onto Yveltal. We're now going to see just how glassy Yveltal is, as Hydro Cannon's going to leave us incredibly low. Nakash farms up, goes straight for the Oblivion Wing. Oblivion Wing will be securing the knockout. To my surprise, the opponent actually commits both Protect Shields, then bank a boatload of energy on Greninja and send back out Charizard. Charizard is now switch locked, but as both of these Pokemon are non-shadows, one Hydro Cannon isn't going to be lethal. Can the opponent get the full wing attack farm down? The opponent's counting on point. Recognising Swampert was at the next Hydro Cannon, dumped the Dragon Claw. It's now 2 Shield Honchkrow versus the Wild. This is only a Dragon Claw, but I suppose we should start using them Protect Shields. Don't be like me and die with 2. We shield up the Dragon Claw. Does the opponent send out Greninja, or do they show their third? The opponent shows their third, which is Virizion. We farm up, throw the Brave Bird on the CMP tie. Brave Bird actually does 206% of Virizion's HP. So we actually wreck that Virizion for this game, the next game, and damage it for game number 3. We shield up the Night Slash. We farm up, throw the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is resisted, but Honchkrow sweeps the back line. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. Swampert into Cresselia, not a good lead. 2 better response in the back. Nakash farms up. We look to catch the grass, not onto Yveltal. The opponent actually paused the turn there. Very nice play from the opponent. Recognising that if we stay in, we're likely to try and make a catch. We draw out Cobalion. We force a Protect Shield again, baiting the Focus Blast. The opponent continuing to farm up, allowing us to make the neutral Oblivion Wing, and that actually lands for huge neutral damage. We are neutral to fighting, however the opponent's going to need to Stone Edge to take us out. The opponent full send the Stone Edge, vanquishing us back to our Pokeball. Again, Nakash gains himself shield advantage in the mid game. Swampert would win CMP here, but again you can see Nakash's high gameplay IQ. We tank the Sacred Sword, it doesn't do too much damage, and take the opportunity to overfarm. We farm up, throw the Hydro Cannon, securing the knockout. Cresselia is yet to reveal its moveset. However, most Cresselias in the Ultra League do run Grass Knot. We fire off the Hydro Cannon, chipping this Cresselia. We then look to make the catch. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again, and we do catch the Grass Knot. My God, what a play. The opponent farm up for the Moonblast. Nakash invest that Protection, and the opponent this time is not baiting. The opponent then pivot out into Regirock. A flyer into a rock type, usually dreadful, but Honchkrow hits for huge neutral damage. Holy smokes. It looks like 2 Dark Pulses will secure the knockout. We see Nakash invest the protection on the Stone Edge. Nakash then farms up, throws the Dark Pulse. Is this where the opponent invests that final protection? No, it's not. They're saving that shield for Cresselia. Back out comes Cresselia. We throw the Dark Pulse on the CMP tie. Dark Pulse forces the final Protect Shield. Is the opponent going to undercharge and try and Psycho Cut farm down? No, they're not. Back out comes Swampert with residual energy. It's going to be a race. We're at the back-to-back moves. You can see the Psycho Cut did go through, so this isn't CMP. The first Hydro Cannon doesn't knock out, and the second one is CMP, and it's going to secure the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Very, very good energy management throughout. And in that battle, it's very much Spice 1, BBML 0. In the next battle, we see Swampert into Greedent. Greedent did gain access to Mud Shot this season, which makes it ridiculously spammy. However, Swampert does appreciate they're no longer using Bullet Seed, as that would be double super effective. We land the Hydro Cannon, the opponent farms up a boatload of energy, throw the Body Slam Nakash, looking to throw Hydro Cannon. Number 2, and I imagine we're going to have to pivot at some stage. There is the pivot, we send out Yveltal. The opponent throw out really poor timing, giving us a full free snarl. We tank the Body Slam. The opponent now send out Tentacruel. Tentacruel, ridiculously thick again. How much does this Oblivion Wing do? Eek. That is one thick squid. The opponent farm up to the Scald. Please, Acid Spray Trainer. The opponent does throw the Scald. Acid Spray would have been advantageous for us. Would have made one further charge move. Back out comes Swampert. It looks like it's going to be CMP to the Earthquake. What the heck? I think we got one turn lag. No, what the heck? Tentacruel definitely doesn't beat Swampert in CMP. However, we do tank the Scald, secure the knockout with the Earthquake, and it's now Honchkrow time. The opponent's got Scrafty in the back, and unfortunately this is going to be game, set and match. The counters are already tearing us apart, and the opponent's now vamping up their attack. They then go for the Wham Bam combo play, sending out Greedent. However, they've still got 2 Protect Shields too high behind. The opponent throw one further Body Slam, getting Honchkrow ridiculously low, and we're going to gracefully concede the match. Moving on to the next one. Oof, rough lead. We see the pivot into Yveltal, and the opponent sends out Steelix. This time we don't farm up to the Focus Blast. It takes 7 for the first and then 6 for the second. However, the stupid Steel Snake evidently needs to go to school and learn to count, as they do shield up the Dark Pulse. However, Nakash certainly isn't complaining, as not only have we baited out something that Honchkrow doesn't want to see. Again, we've gained shield advantage in the mid game. We throw the next Dark Pulse. The opponent this time commits to the full Dragon Tail farm down. And I imagine the opponent's going to look to debuff Swampert into Oblivion. The opponent has a lot of energy. They could YOLO an Earthquake, and I think that's the correct play, as Nakash is never shielding. The opponent actually opts to throw the back-to-back break-in swipes. Swampert easily tanks both, as this Steel Snake hits like a wet noodle. Swampert now has a 2-stage lowered attack. However, Steelix, you sir, are still getting one shot by Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is busted with into the pivot into Honchkrow. The opponent now send out Registeel. Please, please, RNG gods, don't debuff us. The opponent shielded Dark Pulse, recognising if they get the debuff, the first one would do the most damage. Moment of truth time. No shot. We don't get debuffed. See, all you've got to do is ask nicely. Try it for yourselves. Honchkrow at full power lands the Dark Pulse, getting Registeel down below half health. You'll notice we took the extra here because we need residual energy for that Dragonite. We shield the next Zap Cannon. This time the opponent gets the debuff. Nakash farms up to maximum energy, fires off the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse isn't lethal, however, we're going to get the Snarl farm down. The opponent sends out Dragonite. We have got a 1-stage lowered attack, but no debuff will be saving Dragonite. They get vanquished, back to their Pokeball. Back out comes Registeel. We get the Snarl farm down, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Huge shout out to Nakash, not only for running an incredibly spicy team, but his energy management, fast move timing, and all-round gameplay was absolutely on point. Incredible battler. Huge shout out to him. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to a battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.